Good morning. My name is Chief Strongman. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite most citizen. I am the last promotion. My people protested today, but I'm going to skip the semantics because, as I promised, I'm going to tell St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the entire world why I hate Ralph Gonsalves. There is a reason why doctors are encouraged never to take close family members and close friends as patients, because when they have people who are close to them as patients, they always overlook the obvious, and they are 10 times more likely to make a mistake in their practice. Now, what does that have to do with why I hate Ralph Gonsalves? You will be able to tie it in when I finish my story. When I was a teenager, I had a family member who was about 3 or so years old, who migrated. They left St. Vincent to meet their parents for greener pastures. Before this child went away, she was a happy child. She was intelligent, witty, always laughing, having a good time. I mean, as a 3 years old, you expect this from every 3-4 years old. And every time she come back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines on vacation with her parents, she spend significant time in her home at Bottomtown. And then she's on vacation. I always interact with her as I interacted with my other cousins and my nieces and nephews. I took her to fish as I did with my other cousins and nieces and nephews, and everything that I did with them. Anytime she come back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I find time to do it with her. When she was about 13 or 14 years old, her mother died. And as is expected with a 13 or 14-year-old who lose a significant member of their family, a parent, it is going to affect them tremendously. So her father decided, at the summer vacation, he is going to bring her to St. Vincent so she can be surrounded with the love of friends and family, his and her mother friends and family, people who knew her mother, loved and respect her mother. When this child came to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can see she was hurting tremendously with the loss of her mother. But as she started to interact with her families and friends of her parents, and she started to feel the love of people who love her and love her mother and love her father, her smile returned, her laughter returned. She had a twinkle in her eyes. When she was at the house, you can hear her laughter echoing all through every room. That was how happy this kid became. Around this time, I was working at the Public Works Department in the furniture shop. I thought to go in home early so that I can spend time with this little girl. She would often tell me what she did during the course of the day, who she met, and what they said to her. I was always happy to listen to her stories. One day I returned from work and I saw this little girl at the house, and she was lying on the placement rug in the living room of our home. I look at her and I smile. I said to myself, man, she probably is so tired because she would have been walking and going to visit family friends all over Kingston, because she often go to French's to see the Jacks up there, our cousins. She will go to Pazda to visit Miss Smith. She'll go to Kittell's and so forth. When she is going on her little trips, she's always accompanied by a family member or a family friend, because everybody wanted the opportunity to do something with her by the virtue of their relationship with her mother. I was ready and willing to hear what she had to tell me about what she did today. So I decided I was going to wake her up. So I called her by her name and I asked her if she's tired. And she turned around and looked at me. When I took a gander on her face, Her face was sadder than it was when she came to the thought that her mother and her father had died, and she is left in the world to fend for herself. Her eyes lost a twinkle. It became lifeless, as if someone had snatched her soul. I became extremely troubled. I wanted to know what had happened to this child. What could have been so severe? What could have happened to such an extent that will cause her to become so sad and heartbroken, where her eyes became lifeless? So I began to probe. I tried to ask her what is wrong. Tried to get her to talk to me, because I wanted to know that she can talk to me, because I am there for her. All she's saying, nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Everything is okay. I say, no. Everything cannot be okay, because your face is telling me that something is desperately wrong. I was ready and willing to do anything just to see this child with a twinkle in her eye and a laughter on her lips, as she was before that day when I saw her lying on the rug. Anything she told me she did, I was going to treat it with excitement. No word of caution, no objection, no warnings. Just excitement. Because I wanted to know that everything is okay. And all I wanted to see was the happy child I saw for the past week or so. Then she told me she went to Ralph Gonsalves' office today. And I said, oh, that is so cool. What did you discuss? Then she put her head down in the position that she was when I saw her when I first got into the house. Remember, about this time, I'm just about 21 years old, very inexperienced. The things I knew about Ralph Gonsalves, his exploit in Barbados with a university professor, his mass assailant actions, were things I heard as a child, but remembered very clearly. I was not able to put one and one together. For many years, I replay my encounter with that child on that day when I got home and saw her lying on the placement rug in the middle of the living room, sad with eyes that are lifeless. For many years, I went about my business thinking about what could have been so bad that would have changed her happiness into such deep sorrow that her eyes became lifeless, and she looked as if everyone she knew and loved have died, and she is left in the world to fend for herself. I could not come up with an answer. It is not until Michelle Andrews came forward and accused Ralph Gonsalves of raping her. It's like a spell was broken. My eyes was clear. Everything fall into place. And it forced me to have a conversation with someone who you love that no one is supposed to have those kind of conversation with. The long and short of the matter is, my family member who returned home to deal with the grief of the loss of her mother was raped by Ralph Gonsalves when he invited her to his office and she attended his office. She came home to deal with the loss of her mother, and Ralph Gonsalves stole her soul from her. Love, respect, like Ralph Gonsalves. If that kid told me on that very day, my life would have taken a different direction. And if I was in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, when I discovered what Ralph Gonsalves did to that child, my life would have also taken a different direction. I may not have been here today in this capacity speaking to you, but God knows why He holds things back from people in certain situations, and He knew why He held that information back from me at that stage in my life. Let me tell you something. Around me, there's no Ralph Gonsalves love, like, or appreciation. Anyone who come around me with love, like, appreciation for Ralph Gonsalves, you are automatically my enemy. I only understand one thing when it comes to Ralph Gonsalves, and it's Ralph Gonsalves' hate. And there is nothing that could change that. You could always say, oh, the hate will consume me. No, the hate only make me stronger. It only make me look younger. It makes me better, more intelligent. And even the Most High God hates. The Most High God hates. He declared in his word. Hate is what the white man don't want to be a part of. Because he wants to do anything and get away with it. Our hate is what keeps them accountable. My name is Chief Stromberg. I am St. Vincent the Grenadines' favorite and most citizen. I'm the diaspora magician. And I'll talk to you on Monday. Like this video, share this video, leave a comment on this video and let me know what are your thoughts about what was said here. There are many more videos like this right here. Go and peruse those videos and let me know what are your thoughts. Remember to like or subscribe based on which social media platform you're viewing from, and let me know from which part of the world you are viewing this video from. And I will talk to you very soon.